Hello, kindergarten friends. Welcome to our last Bible video of the year. This time we will be talking about something that you will hear about your whole life in doulos until you graduate. And this is codes of character. Maybe you have heard them before from Miss Lisa, but today we will define, or I will give you the meaning of what each of them mean. And I will give you some examples and then ask you, how can you be this code of character, or how can you be that code of character? Okay? So the first one is revolutionary. A revolutionary is someone that does things out of the normal way. Example. A very small example. So, your friend, to go up to the comedor, takes the stairs, but you take the ramp. That's a small example of what revolutionary could look like in your classroom. Or when you're working in silence, when you're supposed to work in silence in your classroom by yourself, and all your other friends are talking in their group of friends, and you sit there silently working on your homework just like your teacher has asked you to do. So, I want to ask you, how can you be revolutionary, or how are you revolutionary? How are you different from what your friends do or what your friends are? I want you to think about that. Our second code of character is servant leader. I think you have heard this a lot from Miss Lisa, and a servant leader is someone who steps up to help anytime, anywhere, to anyone. An example of servant leader is, I know some of you, when we were in school, after class was done at 12, Miss Amy and Miss Jennifer and Miss Lisa had to clean up the mats and put them away, and roll them up and put them away. Some of you stayed after class and helped me clean the mats. That's being a servant leader. Or when your friend drops something because they're walking and their hands are full, and you pick it up, you're being a servant leader because you're stepping up to help that person that needs help. Now, our third one is courageous. Courageous is when you're afraid to do something, but you still do it. Why? Because you feel the need to do it, or you will get better by doing that. Example, when you're in a class and your teacher's reading something and she asks, or he asks, does anyone want to read the next sentence or the next page? And you raise your hand, you're being courageous. Why? Because no one else is doing it, and you feel afraid to do it, but you still do it because you know that you need to practice your reading. That's being courageous. So how can you be courageous? And how can you be also a servant leader? How can you help others? I want you to think about that. Perseverant is our fourth code of character. Perseverant means to keep doing something even if it's hard, even if no one else is doing it, keep doing something. But not like disobeying. It's like if you are learning how to read and you're having a really hard time reading. Like when you're going to first grade, you're going to learn how to read. And it's not going to be the easiest thing, but you have to be perseverant and keep practicing every day, in class, in school, at your house, with your friends, with your family. Why? So that you can get better, so that it won't be hard anymore. That's what being perseverant is like. So how are you perseverant, or how can you be perseverant in school, with your friends, and with your family? Our fifth code of character is wise. Wise means knowing to decide what is right. So, one example that I used earlier is doing what your teachers tell you to do. Example, you're playing out in the playground with your friends, and your teacher says, don't go up into that game because you can fall. Well, what you could do is that you could disobey your teacher and go there and you could fall, or you can be wise and say to yourself, my teacher told me not to go there because I can fall. I will go play in another place so I don't get hurt. That's being wise. So how can you be wise with your friends, with your family, and in school? I want you to think about that as we talk about our last code of character, and this is relational. What do you think relational is? For me, relational is a person that, example, if you're a student and you're in your classroom and you see that one of your friends is sitting alone and is doing their work by themselves, you can go up to that friend, talk to them, and be like, do you want to do your work with me? Or do you want to do this project together with me? That is being relational. Another word for relational is being a good friend, reaching out to people, talking to your friends, talking to your family members, talking to your teachers also. And also it means taking care of the people around you. So how can you be relational and reaching out to other people and caring about them? Those were our 6 codes of character, the codes of character that define or that describe a doulos student. You are a doulos student, and I believe that you have these 6 codes of character, that will keep on growing and will keep on developing. So I want you to think, while you go into 1st grade, how can I practice these 6 codes of character? Thank you so much for listening to our last Bible video, and remember to think about these codes of character.